Hi there, thank you so much for joining me. This is Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US, and in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this mini card gift box, and it's sized to fit 12 3x3 mini cards and their envelopes. This is a sweet little card. These products come from the Dino Roar product suite. I absolutely love it. And this is a little bit of a take on an alternative Valentine's Day card, but could obviously be used for so many different occasions. Just a really sweet way to gift someone a set of mini cards, or to even store them when you're ready to use them. So let me show you how easy this box is to make. For the box base, we're going to start with a piece of lovely lipstick cardstock that measures 4 3/4 by 10 inches. And along the 10-inch side, we're going to score this at 3 1/4, 4 3/4, 8, and 9 1/2. I'm going to rotate it clockwise and score it at 1 1/2 inches. Set this off to the side. And then I've got another piece of lovely lipstick cardstock, and this piece measures 5 9/16, which is 1 tick mark past 5 1/2, by 7 5/16, which is 1 tick mark past 7 1/4. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and 2 inches on all 4 sides. Okay, starting with the box base, I'm going to first fold and burnish on all the score lines. Then I'm going to come in on this little 1/2 inch section here. We're going to miter that little 1/2 inch section in. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove this lower rectangle. So our tab looks like so. Then I'm going to cut up each of the vertical score lines, stopping at the first horizontal score line. And then on these 2 smaller square sections, we're going to come in and notch or miter those out. So it looks like that. Now, before we put the box together, we're going to go ahead and adhere some Designer Series paper. This comes from the Dino Roar Designer Series paper, which is just an adorable set of patterns. Lots of fun colors and patterns combined. I love this paper. So for the box base, I have 2 pieces that measure 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and then 2 pieces that measure 1 3/8 by 3 1/8. Now, if you have a directional pattern to your paper, you want to cut these pieces in portrait mode, and I'm just going to glue these panels down to all the sections except for the side tab and the bottom tabs. Just going to use liquid multi-purpose glue for that. Then the next thing we're going to do before we put this box together is we're going to punch out a little 1/2 circle from the largest panel closest to the side tab. So I'm just going to come in with a 2 1/2 inch circle punch, and I'm going to center the sides of the punch with the score lines, and I'm coming in about 1/3 of the way into that circle. And that just makes sure that it'll be easy to grab the cards out. Now we can put our box base together. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to fold on the second score line from the left and put liquid glue along that 1/2 inch tab. And then I'm going to fold from the first score line on the right, and those should line right up where we want them to go. Then I'm going to fold these little side tabs in and apply glue so they stay down. And then I'm going to put glue on the front tab or front flap. And we'll fold the back flap and then the front flap. And then since we're using liquid glue, we can slide that into place. Then I like to put the lid back on my glue and just press with my glue bottle on the inside to get those tabs to stick down. And there is our box base. Now with the lid, we're going to fold and burnish on all the score lines. Bring in a template here. Now with this in landscape mode, I'm going to cut up each of the vertical score lines, stopping at the second horizontal score line. Then we're going to come in and I'm going to notch this little section here and remove those 2 sections in the corner. Then I'm going to remove this small section from this tab. And then this is a tab here, so we're going to come in and notch or miter that. Then we're going to repeat the same thing in the other corner. So miter this in and remove the 2 sections. Then remove this 1 section. And miter this in. And I'm also going to slightly miter in this 1/2 inch section here. And then that side is done. So I'm going to turn it 180 and repeat the same steps. Okay, like so. Now that's how that lid looks like. I've got more pieces of the Dino-Roar Designer Series paper. I have one piece that measures 1 7/16 by 3 3/16. That piece is going to fit in the center section here. Then I have 2 pieces that measure 1 3/8 by 3 3/16, and they're going to go here and here. And then I have 2 pieces that measure 1 3/8 by 1 7/16, and those pieces will go here. I'm just going to go ahead and adhere those with multi-purpose liquid glue. Now just a quick tip on the patterns of the Designer Series paper. All of these are in landscape mode, but you want to make sure that if you had a directional paper that went up and down and there was a specific top or bottom, you want to make sure that if you picture the way that this lid closes, that this is going to go from top to bottom. So these 2 pieces will actually be in the same top to bottom, but this one needs to be bottom to top. I hope that makes sense. So the other thing I'm going to do before we glue this together is I'm going to take tear and tape, and I'm just going to run it right along the edge of these little 1/2 inch sections. I prefer tear and tape for this part of it because it goes together much faster and less messy. And actually, to make it easier, you can just go ahead and remove those backings before we start to glue the lid together. Okay, so using liquid glue, I'm just going to apply glue to each of these tabs. And then I'm going to line up this score line with this cut edge to form our box lid corner. Now because we pulled the backing off that tear and tape, your hands might stick to the tear and tape a little bit as you put this together, but it does save you time peeling that backing off beforehand. Then you're just going to work your way around to all these tabs. This last tab is always the hardest to tuck in, but just take your time. And now that those tabs are in place, we can just fold in this little top 1/2 inch section. Goes real fast with that tear and tape. And then I do like to come in and burnish that real quick. That little 1/2 inch that folds over really gives this lid some structure. Then we're going to make sure that that fits like a glove. Let's do a little bit of stamping. We're going to be using the Dino Days stamp set and the sentiment, "Thanks for being a Friendosaurus," this adorable dinosaur and his matching plates. Using the layering circles dies, I'm using the 2nd largest circle, and I cut that out of Lovely Lipstick. The 3rd largest circle, and I cut that out of Whisper White. And the 2nd largest scallop circle, and I cut that out of Pretty Peacock. All right, starting with the dinosaur, we're going to stamp him in Flirty Flamingo onto Whisper White, and he just barely fits on this circle. Then I'm going to stamp his plates in Old Olive. I'm going to stamp the sentiment in Pretty Peacock. Then we can layer all 3 of those together using multi-purpose liquid glue. Okay, and then to adhere this to the front of our box, I'm going to put dimensionals, about 5 or 6 of them, but I want to make sure that I'm only putting the dimensionals on the bottom of the circle, so the bottom 1/2. And that's just to make sure that the lid will still fit. Then we'll go ahead and pop that up on the front. Making sure that the lid can open and close. Then using these Dino Roar enamel shapes, I love that these little lovely lipstick triangles fit perfectly on the dinosaur's scales. So I'll pick up one of those. Just cover one of his scales. So cute, just a little bit of bling there. And then we can take our dozen cards and dozen envelopes. Then we'll place those into our mini card gift box, ready to gift to someone. And I just love how that turned out. So, thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next video. If you're interested in purchasing any of the Stampin' Up! Products I used today, they'll be linked in the description. And I'll also include a link to my detailed blog post with all project measurements, details, and pictures of the templates. I'd love to have you come visit me at thepaperpixie.com, where I post projects every weekday to inspire you. You can subscribe to receive my emails every time I post, and I'd love to welcome you as a new subscriber. You can shop with me anytime at thepaperpixie.com/shop. And if you'd like a discount on your Stampin' Up! Purchases, the starter kit is the ultimate bundle, and I'd love to welcome you to my team of Paper Pixies. You can purchase the starter kit at thepaperpixie.com/join. If you don't already have a demonstrator and you'd like a complimentary copy of one of our catalogs, you can submit a catalog request at thepaperpixie.com/catalogs. And if you give this project a try, I'd love to see what you made, so feel free to share it on social media with the hashtag #PaperPixie, and I'll be sure to check it out. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care. Bye.